G'day everyone, Goober here with a bit of a mishmash video. I just put out a video about the damage calculator. So a comment was that if you just don't walk away from the dummy, then it should keep going. This is just to show that that doesn't happen. So I have taken off Frost Shield because it ticks damage, and I haven't put on Thunder Spirit. I just have my main damage source here, which is my only damage source. So it's really easy to show. I'll just do it up to 10 seconds, then I'll take off my main damage source. 10 seconds, take off this. Now I'm doing no damage at all to the dummy. It'll go for another 5 seconds and then just stop. So you need to continually be doing something to the dummy. That's why I suggest using a skill like Thunder Spirit, which for me does 0 damage at all. Just to show that again, but with the... I'll put on Frost Shield. So I'm actually dealing damage this time. So recount. I'll stop at 10 seconds. With my minions. So remove the minion, leave Frost Shield active. Whereas before that would have stopped at 15 seconds. It'll continue to go now until my damage can be calculated. I may as well quickly show that as well. I did to 10 seconds. There we go. It's at 487. 10 seconds is not a very good amount of time. I would suggest doing 20 or 30 to get a very good average of how much damage you're doing over that time. If you have a copy of my spreadsheet, I've added the DPS calculator to it. So the total duration was 30 seconds. It ended on 487. Yeah, 487. 488. And we damaged for 10 seconds. That gave us a damage of 1.464 trillion DPS, which is pretty decent because I'm in my drop spirits. So 1.4 trill DPS in drop spirits. Let's do that again in DPS spirits. And then I'll quickly go over the build, where we're at the moment. And look at all those 500s. That's delicious. I'll do the same test as I just did. So 10 seconds. Remove this. Let it go, and I'll see you when it changes. Alrighty, so it's just gone down. It took 1 minute and 7 seconds. So we'll bring up the spreadsheet again. Total duration was 67 seconds, and I damaged for 10 seconds, and the total ending was 496. So it's about 3.3 trillion DPS. That's higher than the last time I showed this, but I've also upgraded some extra gear. So I will be making another build guide video. This is a bit of a showcase of the build to just demonstrate where it's at the moment. Once I finalize the last little bit, then I will be posting a ultimate form boom modo build guide, where hopefully I'm doing maybe 10 trillion DPS. Hopeful. That'd be pretty sweet. I know that other people are doing over 5 trillion damage, so I should be able to reach that quite comfortably. So this is the basic talents that you use with orders and Mighty Guard. You can use isomorphic, but then you're losing 2 minion skill, which for my weapon may be pretty decent, but we'll see. This one is boss for the double damage and burning aggression. You can go kinetic conversion if you want extra tank. That's the skills. The last 4 points just go into max life here. Still Vanguard, using Reflection for the aura effect. Additional aura effect is massive. It is absolutely huge. Aura effect is insane. And this, with Empower effect and plus 10 defensive skill, you can either use that or Panacea. I guess Panacea would be pretty cool because plus 100% restoration effect. The potion restores 48% of your max life over 5 seconds or whatever, or 2 seconds. That would just mean that it restores 96% of your max life, which is pretty insane. So it's super boosted there, but this is a bit of damage and some tank. That's the talent nodes. Statue of the New God. This is where some upgrades will happen. So you want Peaceful Realm, ideally with Arcane as well. This one's pretty good because it has max life, and minion skill level as well. I'm not sure what this is worth, but I think I paid about 6,000 Flame Elementium for it. Fallen Starlights, you basically want max life and additional minion damage for every point of order. That's where all of these slates revolve around, is that 0.12% additional minion damage. This Fallen Starlight as well is quite good. It has own 1 additional focus blessing stacks. I did have a Corner of Divinity there that had this and something else that was just not doing anything. So I switched it up with a couple of max life, some crit strike rating to get further towards 100% crit strike chance, and own 1 additional focus blessing stack. The rest of that does nothing at all because you can't gain focus blessing stacks with this build. So you have to have own. The Last God's Tears are all 0.12 additional minion damage for every point of order. So you have 4 of these, all centered around a when sparks set the prairie ablaze. The upgrade to this is getting the moth slates. So you would remove this and then add 3 moth to further boost this. So the moth would copy this affix here and give you an extra 0.36% additional damage per point of order, which is 36% additional damage. And then you just have a couple of God's Footsteps with minus additional order decrease speed and talent effect of this slate. The only thing to note here is it's 35% if this slate is of this slate when there are no God's Footsteps in the same row or column. So there can't be any other God's Footstep in this row or this row. This one is the same. There is nothing in that row or that row. So I just have 2 of those there. And then I just have the 3rd one there. There's nothing on this row and there's nothing on that column that is the same as that. I've got a spare one there, but I don't need to put anything in it. So I just don't, whatever. I'll be replacing it with moths soon enough. Next up, we can have a quick look at the hero traits, I guess. 1 to 2 physical damage for every point of max life for the minion, and minion max life is really, really nice. The super expensive Dominion of the Iron Pact, they're actually coming down a lot. It's only 1,000 Flame Elementium now. They were much more expensive previously. Here off we have adds a % of the player's max life to the base life of the minions with self-destruct damage, and adds more of my life and minion max life. So quick overview of the talents. You have all this stuff, and this one, Heroic Sacrifice, is this extra point here. So you've got everything there. My soul candles are 12% Sealed mana, you basically need that on 2 candles and your helmet, otherwise you'll have massive mana issues. I have massive mana issues as well because of my other soul candle. This one, the main skill is supported by level 20 servant damage and unlucky, so it takes the worst of every 2 rolls for crits. However, we are capping at 500 billion damage almost every time, so it's fun. The other soul candle is +2 minion skill level with, again, sealed mana for aura skills. However, loses 2% max mana upon triggering the skill, so I never have any mana at all. So everything has to be automated or cost life to cast. The ideal with this would be +2 minion skill, minus 12% mana, and then something else like aura effect for every minion nearby, or crit strike damage, or hardened, anything to give you an extra link on your main skill. Looking at the main skills, I have perpetual motion, mechanical modification, servant speed. You can either do servant speed or servant life. They are both pretty much the same. Crit strike rating, crit strike damage. On the potion, we have compound source with a very bad activation medium, auto charge, and residues. Residues just means that it cannot be removed, so that's good. Blink with quick mobility, magic dash, and cost conversion, so it costs life instead of mana. Dark Gate, because we are using knowledgeable, it is an empower effect with activation medium, extended duration, pain amplification, and mania. That just means that it's up as much as possible. Frost Shield applies mark. Mark is pretty much mandatory for me now with my weapon. Sorry, I've got nose hairs that are annoying me. With an activation medium of 6 seconds to keep it active at all times. With uplifting. Precise Swiftness with just a little bit of cooldown recovery speed and movement speed, with aura amplification and selfishness. We got Precise Elemental Res with selfishness, aura amplification, and stand as 1. This makes it so it says 10% elemental res. However, I have a lot of aura effect, so this pretty much helps me keep res capped at all times. Precise Fearless, I had the wrong thing in here before, but I sold those. So we have aura amplification, safety in numbers, and stand as 1. And same thing with precise weapon amplification. Onto the gear, I believe. Yep, so we've done those. And gear. Gear is where I've spent a ton of currency lately. A helmet, minus sealed mana, max life, double damage, crit. Pretty great. You can switch out, I'm tempted to switch out 20% max life here and put on 80% minion max life on the helmet. It's probably going to boost their life a ton. So I'll probably make that switch at some point. But anyway, the chest, max life, tenacity blessing stacks, and aura effect is really, really good. Anytime you can get aura effect or crit strike damage is great. Gloves I upgraded recently. Spell skill, damage mitigation, penetration for minions, max life, 1 res, crit strike rating, and crit strike damage. Boots, deflection is phenomenal. Always try and get deflection on your boots. Max life, movement speed, aura effect, again, with some fire res. Rings, max life. You're just trying to boost your max life as much as possible because you're also giving that to your minions. The more max life your minions have, the more damage you do. All the reses, bit of minion damage and crit strike damage. Now the other ring is quite decent. We got max life, Ellie res, cold res and crit strike damage. So we got 2 tier 0s in that one. And then we just didn't have anything else to enchant onto this, so we just went with whatever we got with minion damage, because 2 tier 0s is insane. And on to the legendaries. This can be upgraded for about 4k FE. If I just get one that has +5 passive skill and tier 0 minion max life and crit strike damage, that'd be better. The belt is only a 5. You can get 6 additional focus blessing stacks here, so that's an upgrade that is possible. And then the weapon, so +6 minion skill, +6 active skill, focus strike means additional damage to the center, and all your minions are always dashing to the center and exploding. So that's just more damage. Crit strike damage, and minions deal double damage. With the Dreamcraft on of Mark Effect. Mark Effect just has, when you're putting it on, it's just 90 to 120%. Doesn't matter of the tier. It's always going to be that. Or if you do the Deep Dream, it's 140 to 350%. But you only get 3 attempts at that. I failed my 3 attempts, which makes me sad, because that is a pretty phenomenal weapon. When you Dreamcraft it, randomizes the stats, so I'm pretty happy with that. So that is the build as it currently stands. I do have some upgrades to go, and then I will be more in line with... Wow, he's fallen off. What is going on? Kuro's build. Oh, that's what's happened. I was going to show you his slates, but he's taken them off and put them on his Automoto. So I guess I won't show you that. Yeah, he has hardened instead of +2 minion skills. Anyway, I copied Kuro for his build. He copied something from the Discord, I think. It was Valkyries. I might add my new one here. So this is the one that I was following, Valkyries build. It's pretty basic stuff on his. Mine's a lot more min-maxed. Alrighty, I have just added this build code. I'll put this in a pinned comment of the video as well. If you're on the Asia server, you can find it in the Pro builds as Boom 3 Trillion DPS, which is, yeah, good to go. So this one got a fair few, which is pretty cool. But yeah, so that's enough on that. Another issue that came up in another comment was my understanding of the Shepherd when it comes to it's T8. When it comes to the final stage, I've run out of money, haven't I? I just finished crafting, so I'm super broke right now. I've got 9 Flame Elementium left. But I want to keep going with mapping and stuff. So let's just show a 8-4 in DPS spirits, I guess. And then hopefully that one gets to a rainbow. That'd be nice. So this is the build as it currently is. 8-4 full juice. In drop spirits, goes pretty well, tanks pretty well. Still die every now and then, but I'm level 100, so I don't care. Does 8-4 in about a minute and a half, depending on what map you get and whether you run past some flame elementium like that. Pretty annoying. There was a boss or something there. Yeah. It's still there. Where is it? Ah, behind the wall. When they changed it, so Boom Moto damage doesn't go through walls. Worst decision ever. Invading Dream, he should give me some FEs. Yeah, nice. Oh, Executor, didn't get him in time. Lame. The God of War buff wore off. It wore off. Anyway. Maybe I can just show it. What does it say? So it says, when entering a nightmare, there is a 50% chance to trigger one additional Sweet Dream Omen. This selection will not be accompanied by a Nightmare Omen. So I should have just read what's in brackets right there. So the wording of it when it pops up is something along the lines of, there is your bonus. So it'll be like this, randomly selects one of these, and then the bottom part will say something like the shepherd devours the Nightmare Omen. Now, in my brain, I read that as the shepherd is devoured. So you get the extra buff, but you don't get the bonuses from the shepherd. But it clearly says it. My brain just did not process it. And so you get an extra buff for no downside. It's really, really disappointing that I didn't pick that up. I only did 2. So I need 2 more for a rainbow. But yeah. So I might do one more quick thing. I'll do the Hunter's Forge. I haven't done... Wow, I've got a lot of Hunter's Forges to go. I dare say I'll just one-shot this one, but I might pause this until we get towards the... Yeah. Till the end of them. It's actually kind of comical how fast this is. Donk. Oh, you lasted more than a split second. What is going on? Bump. Oh, didn't die in one hit. It's getting stronger. And I'm getting FEs. Nice. Ugh, got less than the last one. Ultimate Evers aren't worth much anymore. So that's the third last one. 2 to go. I don't think I've full cleared this since the Spellburst Carino from from pre-season. That Carino was a crazy build. It's a shame they destroyed it. It was super expensive. Kind of like the endgame version of this gets super expensive. I spent about probably about 7,000 FE on... Oh, is that it? Oh, Hunter's Forge is done. I spent about 7,000 FE on this weapon. I think it was definitely worth it. 100%. It's near perfect. So, if I had a twin reflection, I'd duplicate it. But I don't. Because they are super, super expensive. There's one available. Well, they were 38,000 yesterday. they need to drop more. Anywho, I think that's all I've got for this video. Hopefully we get a race or something soon to keep people interested. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.